Alright, so welcome back to the Super Coach Nuff channel. In today's video, we're having a look at the round one review of the NRL Fantasy side. So, as you can see, 835 the first round score, which is pretty fair, I think. Well, so 6,000 overall out of 160,000, so we'll take that. Particularly if you've watched my Super Coach video, that is much better than what I did over there. So in terms of the team, we'll go through the starting squad first and then have a look at the bench. So Harry Grant, 76, that's why he's in the team and running the VC. He just does the business week in, week out. I guess was a little bit boosted by the Golden Point try, but he's capable of doing that in any given week. So take the rough with the smooth. It was definitely more smooth there. So in the middle, I'd say 59. That's pretty solid. Actually, click there. So I haven't got the full information, but I think I need to go to the full profile, don't I? So yeah, it went down 2k. So obviously, that's about the average, but 60 points will absolutely take that every day of the week. Clicked on the ad for DoorDash. Wanted to close that. There we go. Brandon Smith got 34, so he obviously had a HIA issue and also sort of got shuffled into the middle forward position when Victor Radley got an eye poke. So, we'll take that. I think, there's definitely upside and room for improvement there. And Cam Murray, 66, so again, he's one of those locked in players in the middle, and anything over 60 is amazing. So speaking of which, Jermaine Hopgood, 82, so an unreal performance in his club debut for Parramatta. Yeah, it looks pretty well locked in for an edge spot if he holds that position at Parramatta, which I can't see why not. Looks like they're looking to offload and play attacking footy, which he's up for. Plus, he'd tackle anything that moves through the middle. So I almost felt bad for him when he missed the tackle on Harry Grant to get the Storm over the line. But that's how it goes in footy. Matt Dury, 32, so be outright given his price tag. We'll take that little bump in price. As long as he stays in the side, I'm happy to have him there. So Nathan Cleary, 61, and that was basically off the back of no real attack from Penrith. They only got 2 tries against the Broncos. Yeah, so that's solid as ever. I'll take that. And Tanner Boyd, 37, pretty solid as well. Pretty sure he would have moved up in price. Have a quick look. Yeah, 3k. So it's a step in the right direction. So that dual position flexibility. While we've got quite a few hookers, yeah, happy to have him in the squad. Val Holmes, 42. So as a gun centre, you hope he gets those sort of scores at least. Yeah, so we'll take that. And Paul Alamotti, so part of the disastrous left edge for the Dogs. So yeah, it wasn't his best week. You can see he's still a little boost in price from is it 220 or 230 the base? Yeah, 220 at the absolute base. Was it 230 maybe? Must be 230. And then there's a couple that have actually gone backwards. There you go. So from 230 up to 231. So obviously around 17 is the minimum requirement. But yeah, he'll definitely improve, so not too stressed there. Tommy Talau, 16, so he looked like he was struggling. Don't know if it was cramp or something a bit more sinister. But I guess we'll see. But that's alright, dual position, cheapy. That will happen. CNK, 51, so yeah, he was really good for the Warriors. So yeah, pretty sure I've got him across all formats and happy to have him with that workload and price point. Will Warbrick, 29, so, no real attacking stats there. Just running hard in the backfield, so, yeah, good stuff from the cheap centre wing, or wing fullback, I should say. On the bench, so Damien Cook, so for those who watched the last video and didn't see the little pinned comment, with Nico Hines, injuries seem to be a bit more long term. I made the switch to bring Trindle in, which you can see there at number 3. But with that extra money, I thought let's just go all out and bring Cookie in, and 68 justifies that decision. So obviously, let's have a look at his stats because I haven't looked at them so far in any other formats. Fixtures, match stats, there we go. So, 47 tackles, um, yeah, so 137 metres gain. I guess, what's that, running metres? That's unreal. So, yeah, lots of runs, obviously. A little kick as well. Yeah, so glad to have him in the team. I think he'll be there for the duration, even if we need to find a way to get Nico Hines in a few weeks. That'll be through some other avenue, no doubt. Sonny Luke, so he was really good off the bench, and there was talk about him getting the 50-minute stint, and he only got 25 or something like that, 30 minutes maybe. But I think that's just because he didn't play in the preseason. So his minutes will increase, and I think when they do, his score will also increase. So pretty glad I've got him in the side here. Braden Trindle, so quite cheap, playing at the Sharks, 33, and they weren't on the winning side, so yeah, that's fine. We'll take that. Big Stefano, 32, so I might have to have a look. I think he might have dipped in price. Oh no, up 4k. So he's going to be the slow burner anyway, being a middle forward. Kepi, scoring 40, and he was, I think, around 300, so nice little boosted price there. Sean Bloor, unfortunately, HIA'd out, so only 13. And that might actually expedite bringing John Bateman back into the team. So, they're not all winners, the picks, but that's okay. We'll keep him there. We'll have a look and we'll see how it goes. Isaiah Katoa, so the 11. It looked like he played better than that, but I mean, I guess you're not as rewarded for some of the attacking stuff in fantasy like you are in Supercoach and those other formats. So it's probably about what you expect from him. Young kid, first game. Well, that's not the worst. I guess the worst is probably this last one's a Pereira with the duck egg. So obviously was punished for the amount of errors and missed tackles that he came up with. So the only way is up. And, there's no point trading him. He's lost 10k, it would seem, which must be the absolute limit. So, yeah, I guess a bit of a break-even issue to overcome as well, but he'll be fine. He's in case of emergency style player anyway. So, in terms of trades this week, not too sure. There's a couple of players on the watch list. One player at the moment, and that's Junior Satola, just because he got knocked out early, so a score of 1, which means his price will dip, so he might try to cash in on when he bottoms out. But there is another player from South that I was pretty interested in having a look at, and that's Lockie Ilias. So 480k, he would have made a bit this week. Yeah, 50k, so it would have been nice to be on from the start, but he looks like he's really locked in there and playing well on that edge. I guess the prophecy of him being able to replace Adam Reynolds is starting to come to fruition. So, I mean, what are we? 480 minus 113, so about the 360 mark. So, I mean, The only real expendable one here would be Stefano. So, I mean, it is an option. We can always slot Hopgood up into the middle. Or Sean Kepi obviously has to buy this week. So, I mean, if we're going pretty aggressive, which, why not? It's all fun and games. Trade him out, bring in Ilias. Add player, confirm trade. Right, so that gives us another 33k to play with. And yeah, so go back to ordering by the averages. So just have a look. Cherry Evans would obviously be good to have. But, that's a lot of money. You got the buy this week anyway, so you could always hold off a week. A lot can change in fantasy land in a week. Josh King, he looked really good in the middle for the Storm. Had that try assist, which would have boosted him up a little bit, but other than that, it was all just through, work and effort. So he'd be a nice little mid-ranger that might sort of get a run in the middle. Whether we downgrade one of our guns. I'm looking at you, maybe Isaiah Yo with the Panthers out round 3. But that might be next week's sort of problem anyway. Mark Nichols obviously scored the try, but he was good for the Dolphins. Ozako, 2 tries, all the goals for the Dolphins. Probably not sustainable long term. Reece Robson, yeah, good for the Cowboys. Hookers are obviously always up there, so Reed Marnie. Junior Paulo, I guess, was, had the try, which helped. Marshall King was good for the Dolphins. Tohu Harris, he's another one of these cut, or not quite cut price, but, rock solid options in the middle there over someone like an Isaiah Yo. We'll try and find some cheaper options. Lemuelu scored a try, but I mean, to get 64 points, man, he was doing some work, and he absolutely was. Payne Haas good as always. Who else we got? Not a lot of other super cheap options popping up. Bryce Cartwright, he actually did a lot of work. I remember saying to the boys on the chat, uh, is someone else wearing the number 11? Because he just rolled his sleeves up and did all the dirty work, which, isn't usually what you'd associate with him. So I was really impressed. Be interesting if he holds that edge spot, then maybe, well, his price difference might be too much. Does flick him and Dury over, but that's okay. Yeah, the hammer, yeah, so there's one that I've let slip by yet again. He was in early drafts of my fantasy team, and he did look really good. So maybe, we might have to find some room for the hammer next week. Because, I don't think I'll squeeze him in with the Ilias trade as well. But I guess, that's how the team's shaping up at the moment. I am prone to a late change, so any changes will be just pinned as a pinned comment. So speaking of comments, if you've got any thoughts on the team or different trades you'd make, feel free to throw in a comment. Otherwise, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that other YouTube goodness. And aside from that, I'll see you in the next one.